Perth Glory get taken apart by Adelaide under Friday Night Lights. The Glory Girls go back-to-back with a 3-2 win over the Jets, and Juan Mata lights up the Melbourne Derby. Welcome to the Far Post Perth, all presented by ID Athletic. Download the latest football catalogue, idathletic.com, and also Trio Homes if you're looking to build, redesign or renovate, triohomes.com.au. Blayne Treadgold is my name. Going round the table with us is Neil Sherwin. Welcome back, mate.
Hello again.
You've been away gigging.
Well, we were all at Good Charlotte last week.
Well, I wasn't. I didn't get a bloody invite.
Nah, you're too old. Too old. Us cool kids were rocking out last Tuesday.
With other 40...
With other people in their mid-40s and bands that have been around for 25 years and whatnot. Yes, we were young and the hopeless, to use the title of a Good Charlotte album.
There you go. Jackson Bassett's with us. Mate, you were there, but you weren't actually there.
I didn't get to enjoy the concert itself. Like Neil and a lot of people that I follow on Instagram, but yeah, it was working it. Atmosphere seemed pretty good. Lots of people seemed very happy with how things turned out. So all in all, good night, but very happy to be here.
Very, very good. Plenty to talk about. A little bit later on, we're going to be, I guess, delving into one of Neil Sherwin's favourite nerd activities, kits. Neil, you're wearing a Man City kit circa. Where are we going with this one?
Guess.
I couldn't tell you.
You couldn't tell me?
No.
Okay.
No. Is it?
95, 96?
Nope. That was the Umbro era.
It's a Kappa, just to paint a picture for the listener. So it's the brother Kappa kit with the I guess
laser blue, as it's officially titled, which was
I was going to say sky blue, but it's not.
It wasn't sky; it was laser, and the fans had a lot of problems with it at the time.
They've got the nice little bit there in the collar, the
maroon little.
So that's the original colours, isn't it?
Yeah, so the actual original colours of City were black and white.
Is that okay?
Yes.
So indulge us. When are we?
97 to 99.
97 to 99.
Yes,
so you weren't even in the Prem.
No, this was the dark times. Yep. I bought this when I was 12, and it still fits me. I have the full tracksuit as well, which I didn't wear today.
Breaking news: Neil Sherwin still got the body of a 12-year-old girl.
12-year-old boy. Yeah, careful out there. And it was controversial at the time because it was laser blue, not sky blue. Yeah, it was a big thing. But it's also around the same time Glory had the Kappa kits as well. Yep. That late 90s, early 2000s era, which many people believe to be the best era of Glory kits. So yeah, this I wore this to Oasis, and I could see a lot of fakes going around the place. And there was definitely an air of snobbery about me because I had my OG Kappa City. I have the away one at home as well, and it's people might remember the playoff win when Paul Dickoff scored to take its penalties at Wembley, and they had that really horrible fluoro kit. That was another one of the Kappa era kits as well before they moved to Lecoq Sportif around 2000.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I've got on me.
Cool. And we'll be having a chat to Rob the kit dealer a little bit later on. I'm sure many of you know Rob, or you've been past the shop in Piccadilly Arcade. Jackson, you're sporting one we've seen before, the strongest from the Bolivian Premier Division. It is a belter of a kit. I really like it. Could possibly get confused for a checkered flag at an F1 meet, but I do like it, mate. It goes right.
Yeah, it's very obscure. I'm not quite at the level of Neil with the kit collection, but it's growing, and this is one of my favourites, bought from the kit dealer, funnily enough. Yep. And with a player on the back, and I think we had a conversation about this when I wore it the first time on this podcast, Pablo Escobar, who was a Bolivian/Uruguayan attacking midfielder.
Drug dealer.
Not the Colombian one. But he was a cult hero of Bolivian football. Yep. And, I mean, the name itself... It was too good to pass up on.
Well, I was going to go with my one of my favourite kits, actually, and it's a little bit of a favourite. Neil Sherwin would probably punch me if I wore it, but that's the Bose kit that you picked me up, Neil. I was going to wear that, and I thought, no, you're probably going to punch me in the face if I do wear that.
You're asking for one of the kneecap ones next that they've now brought.
Well, do you know what? Is my in-laws are actually going to Dublin in June, and I'm going to see if they can spot me.
They've got two kneecap kits out now.
No, I am
milking it for all it's worth.
I am absolutely all over it. Yep. And looking forward to that. One of my favourite other kits is I've got, well, similar to you, my Leeds boys have had some dark times, and I've still got a kit that we wore in League One just to I don't wear it too often, but every now and then I just... it's actually Macron. It's actually one of the original Macron kits before they went to the new logo and everything like that. Pretty just plain white, but yeah.
My dad's a Leeds fan, and one of my favourite kits that I've got through him is the Thistle Hotels got navy and green stripe one.
with
the navy collar on it. I've got that. That kit was a beautiful, proper Tony Aboa, Gary McAllister sort of era. It's an Asics. From that time. So that'd be.
And the old, I think we had Hewlett Packard and that. I guess from an Australian perspective, one that's iconic for many Australians, no matter if you're a Leeds supporter or not, it's the old Strongbow when we had guys like
I have that
and Mark Viduka getting around, particularly the blue and gold one.
So I have
iconic.
that.
There you go.
I have it of the blue and gold because blue and yellow is my favourite combo kits. My all-time favourite kit is the around 95-96 Juventus royal blue shirt with the yellow stars on the shoulders. Ravanelli, Del Piero, Vialli era. That's my all-time pièce de résistance kit. If I could get my hands on one of them, that would be, if anybody's listening and has a fresh one, I'll buy it off you.
We'll catch up with Rob a little bit later on, and we'll go through some of his best kits and some of his favourites as well. Looking forward to getting stuck into that conversation. Before we get there though, boys, let's go through our good, our bad and our ugly from the week that was. Kick us off, Mr. Sherwin.
I'll keep it quick with the good. Just the Juan Mata thing. I already had him as my good earlier in the season, but the Melbourne Derby, he lit it up, got eyeballs on the game from some of his mates, old teammates at Manchester United. It seems like a mutually beneficial relationship with the club, with the league. By all accounts, he's not on big money to be there. He's enjoying the lifestyle. He's gotten his body right after some problems over the years, and he's repaying the faith that Victory had in him that Western Sydney Wanderers didn't. And if it's easier said than done, but 3 or 4 Juan Matas scattered around the league, and all of a sudden your profile is raised because he's been excellent. He's got 9 assists, which is the most in the competition. He's still class with his vision, his passing range, his just general ability, and how he's been around the squad. Nobody has had a bad word to say about him. He's not been seen as a disruptor. He's not been seen as arrogant. He's been brilliant for
I mean, I've even seen posters for him getting out to local football clubs and doing events at Sandringham Football Club and places like that. Do you know what I mean?
It feels like he might be here to stay. And I know there's talk about him investing in clubs previously and whatnot, and it'd be fantastic if someone like him was to buy into the league long term. But while we've got him, it's been a while since we've had somebody this high profile. Like, he is a genuine world class player. Yeah. And he's playing in our league, even though he is a bit older. Yeah, so he's delivering.
Very good, mate. Keep us rolling.
I had to find something positive from a somewhat Glory perspective. Yeah. So I've gone to the championship, and Daniel Bennie, scoring his first
belter.
Yeah, it was a beautiful goal. 84th minute, gave him the lead against Hull, and they went on to win 3-1. And great signs for him. Second year now at the London club. Got his first start in January. He's been making a few more appearances with the first team, and a cracking goal on the weekend. And it's good signs for him in a league that is at a very good level with lots of fellow Australians playing in it. So I'm glad that he's getting his opportunity and that he's shining.
Yeah, I mean, I love the championship. Obviously, Leeds have spent a bit of time there, and I mean, I believe that it's probably in the top 5 leagues in the world. I think it can really battle. Obviously it's not a top division, but as far as interest and intrigue and everything else, storylines that go, I think it's a top division as well. It's very, very competitive. It's probably the toughest league in the world to win, I believe. It's just as Leeds kind of felt for many, many years, it's just really, really hard to get out of. So good to see Jalen Pearman also got a Guernsey in that one as well. So good to see that as well. My good, I didn't want to, I guess, get on the typical Juan Mata line, but just the lead up to the Central Coast Newcastle this week. Both teams in some really good nick. Good to see that. Obviously, Central Coast on a roll, Newcastle on a roll. Central Coast being really, really competitive in that regard as well. It should set up what could be re-brew a really a top rivalry as far as getting that area and that football back to where we've seen it in the past. So
probably, because you look at what the Jets are doing, streaking ahead at the top. They've traditionally is probably unfair, and then but recently being bottom dwellers with the Mariners. You know, they've been fighting it out for who's maybe going to be in and around the spoon positions, but the Jets have kicked on now. So can the Mariners respond, I suppose, is what you're looking at on a limited budget. We all know the problems that they go through, but they're still in contention for finals at the moment, so they're not exactly having a bad season.
No,
considering the manager left on the eve of the kickoff.
Well, the ownership,
everything else that comes with it.
Academy's going down the tubes, and they're having to bail that out as well. So, look, there's some positive signs heading into this one. For just as I said, it's good for football in that region. It's the kind of town v town that can have a proper rivalry. They're not kind of city shares or anything else like that. So, I'm looking forward to Central Coast and Newcastle on the weekend. What has been bad, Mr. Sherwin?
The bad is the opposite side of the Melbourne Derby City. It's shit. What a bad season. You know, we know that they're going to be outsung even in a home derby by the Victory supporters. That's just the way it is. They don't have the fan base for it, but they got schooled at home. They're outside finals. This is meant to be the benchmark club in the league in terms of academies and bringing through players. And yes, they have got some very good young players, but they've spent nothing on top quality marquees, big name signings, which we thought the City group might do. So for them to be in contention for not even making finals is pretty disgraceful, really, given the model that they've got and the resources available.
I don't know how that can go so well in the Champions League elite, and then just be so rubbish in the league. It's like polar opposites.
Yeah, and they've lost players as well. Lecky's been injured, Kai Truan has moved on, but they again have serious resources available to them, and they're not really. There's no one that moves the needle to get people to games at Melbourne City.
Yeah,
Caputo, good young player. They've got some solid A-League players like Bajic and a few others that are in that team, but who's attracting people either away from Victory or neutrals to go and watch Melbourne City? They don't have Western United to compete with at the moment either. I know, because Western United played at Amy Park quite a bit. So there is a bit of clean air there, I suppose, but they haven't maximised it at all in terms of getting a name in, and that's they should be the ones leading that.
Keep us going, mate.
I'll keep it quick because I've turned Neil's good into a bad. And for the Wanderers, how badly they mismanaged and mishandled Juan Mata, it's unbelievable. And you look at the situation that the clubs are in now. Victory, probably not where they'd like to be and where everyone thought they'd be, but they've on a bit of a roll, got a bit of momentum on their side, and he's been pivotal to that. And then you look at the Wanderers, who are sitting dead last on the table. The talent's always been there for him, and the fact that they completely ballsed it up, and he made no impact for them, and then let him go, and now he's thriving at the Victory. It's about as bad an example of how to manage a marquee as has ever been in the 8 League, considering the success he's now had at a new club.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with that at all. My bad, pretty obvious. Perth over the last couple of weeks. Where has the momentum gone? How does it just clicked and gone down the tube so quickly? I guess hindsight's a wonderful thing, but looking back, was there some cracks that were already starting to show? I think looking back, there probably was. We just said
you got too caught up in the line.
Well, I did get a little bit caught up in the line, but it's okay to get caught up in a little bit of excitement, especially considering how bad Perth fans have had it for so long. But we were saying a little bit before we pressed the record button, it just shows how important Reece Bozanovsky was in particular to this side. I'll die on this hill, but Pennington is playing out of position. There's just a little bit going on.
But a lot that honeymoon period is gone now.
Oh, absolutely, it has. It went weeks ago.
I got to all the post-match press conferences, and you just know that your first response from Adam Griffiths is going to stonewall the question. I mean, we sit there and go, right, whatever question you ask him, he's just going to go, yes. Or no. And he's done it with the TV people as well.
It's not helpful.
The shtick is wearing thin pretty quickly.
Absolutely.
And then your second question or your follow-up or something a bit more nuanced or in tactics, he will give really good answers. But that first impression is the soundbite that goes around. And people have just gone, oh, he's at it again.
Yeah.
And a lot of that goodwill is disappearing pretty quickly in line with the bad results.
Yeah.
And I think that he's going to have to, play the game a little bit with the media, and his persona is persona. That's the way he's put himself out there. But a lot of that, and we said it at the time when he gave the story about the line the mountain goat, that you can do that shit when you're winning games. But as soon as you start to lose games, you look like an idiot.
100%.
You look like you're just rambling.
Agreed.
And it's now getting to that point pretty quickly because the results have gone downhill. They're probably not going to make finals. There'll be people talking about coaching changes again because he's only contracted till the end of the season. It's bad again. Pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, 100% agree, mate. Keep us rolling with ugly.
I should have said with my good about the Tour of Duty because they put on a great show. 150 people going over to Adelaide to watch a game, rewarded with a dreadful performance. But my ugly, we have to talk about it, is the fans that don't help themselves with the stickers. And I think there's been
Get on your soapbox.
No, I don't need to go too high on it. But we were accused of not liking active support, which we want active support to die. Apparently, I mean, I come from a background of watching Pig's Head being thrown by fans. I'm okay with fans doing stuff. However, when you call someone a sex offender, you probably lose a bit of the goodwill from the people around you. So I just wish that, because we get eyeballs on us as football fans all the time, no matter what we do. And as soon as you give people ammunition, they're going to take it and run with it. And there has been problems with security. We've known for a long time, even back in your day, getting treated like hooligans just because you go and have a bit of a laugh at the football. Like, there's the way it's managed is ridiculous. The all-encompassing punishment when it's a handful of individuals not taking appropriate action against the ones that are caught. They just keep coming back to the next game and causing more trouble. All of that goes on, but you don't help matters when you give people a reason to ban you and to, highlight the negatives that are there. So I mean, it'd be great if everybody could just do what the majority of the Tour of Duty did: go have beers, have a laugh, have a good time, no trouble. The amount of people that said that the Glory supporters were brilliant, and they always are when they go to any away games on the East Coast, but you've got something like that that overshadows it, and it's just completely unnecessary. Have your stickers, stick them up in the whole lot, but don't call someone a sex offender. Probably a bit too far.
I'm going to jump in here because I had that as my ugly as well, and it's just virgin schoolboy type humour. There's no.
Did you call them all virgins?
Well, that's
come back to you.
That's what kind of. I know it's going to annoy a few because I mean I know some of these people, and in the actives and everything else like that, and it's going to annoy a few people. But just be better, be more clever. I mean, nobody's denying that we all love a bit of banter, we all love a laugh, but I'm with you. This just puts the heat back on.
Look, you can chant about a player being shit. You can chant about a player being this and that, but there's a line you probably don't cross. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all. Don't cross the line, you're sweet.
There's some, as I said, get a bit of wit, get a bit of intelligence, get a bit of something clever, and I think everyone walks away having a bit of a laugh. But
it's a bit like remember the TIFO where they had the object going into Graham Arnold's mouth. I mean, I laughed. I'm not gonna lie. I really did laugh. I did laugh at that. It was a bit too close to home. No, but I did laugh at that a lot. But at the same time, you can't expect to get away with it.
No, and you've got your group's logo on these stickers. Like they know exactly where it's come from. Nobody's an idiot here. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no,
as I said,
it'd be pretty easy to track down the culprits.
Keep the banter, keep all the fun, everything else like that.
Stop you on that cloud and move on.
Yep. Jackson, did you have an ugly, mate? Sorry, I've taken.
I did. It's going back a while, but it is the incident from the Champions League last week that kind of dominated the headlines in Europe. Just a very visible reminder that racism in football is still an issue. It seems that it crops its ugly head every now and then, and it kind of just goes under the radar and then comes up every now and then. And it was a disappointing thing. I think some of the discourse around
Jose Mourinho.
That was that.
I mean, of all the people to be turning around and saying that Vinny provokes support, this is the man that knee slides in front of supporters in Champions League games and when he's winning titles and has no problem giving gestures to fans, and he's saying that it's a little bit too much, and also victim blaming, saying that he comes from a stadium where they do this all the time. It's like, geez, it's probably a little bit much from Jose, but anyway, there's a ban, isn't there?
Yeah, one game for now. It's provisional. They're still investigating it, and it's a pretty tricky thing because it's like a he said versus he said. Very hard to prove what was said unless the player comes forward and actually admits it, which I don't think Prestiani has, or I don't think he will. But I think Vincent Kompany did a response on it, and it spoke very well and it's very balanced. So if anyone listening, I'd recommend you go listen to that. It was about 12 minutes long in one of Bayern's pre-match presser.
I just find it really hard as a society in 2026 that we're still in these areas. Like this is
why
I just do. I really find
Wolves had to put out a statement about the abuse that one of their players was getting through Instagram from anonymous accounts.
Yeah, I know.
So it's worse now because you can do it anonymously.
Exactly. Yeah, no, and I can't believe that that the intelligence is only at this level that people still think that it's...
But back in our day, the only way to do it was to do it in person or write a letter and get it
sent. Face, right?
Write a letter to the editor that went by pigeon. Yeah. The insult might get to them 2 weeks later. Now it's like you can just pop onto Instagram, create a fake account, call someone a monkey, and off you go.
Yeah.
And think there's no consequences. It's far easier.
Yeah, bring back the ability to be able to punch people in the face and watch this all stop, seriously.
So you talk about the online element, but I did have a look, and there was a study done a couple of years ago about the racism in Australian sports, and they interviewed about 2,000 or so people, and 27% of people who said they went to the A-League had witnessed racist behaviour at some point, and 50% of that was within the last 2 years. So even here, it's still a problem. This is not just a European, South American thing. It's still very much a thing over here too.
It's societal. Do you know what I mean? It's not just even in sport. I mean, and to be able to get political for a quick second is that some of our leaders and some of our politicians are actually leaning on this and not only enabling it, but leaning on it because they know that there's that whole, I support them because they say what they think kind of crowd, which obviously... in a society which melts over into sport, people become, I guess, pretty used to it and think it's all right. So, yeah, there we go. I didn't want to get political and did. There we go. We might go to a break, boys. We'll come back on the other side and we'll chat plenty of kits. We'll have Rob from the Kit Dealer to join us next.
What a run! This could be the one! It's in! That's what it's all about! And when it comes to sports gear that helps you perform your best, ID Athletic has the winning formula. From grassroots clubs to elite athletes, ID Athletic provides high-quality sporting apparel, screen printing, embroidery, and made-to-order promotional products. Proud sponsors of the Far Post Perth and passionate supporters of WA community sport. Visit ID Athletic at 84 Howe Street, Osborne Park, or online at idathletic.com. ID Athletic. Build your identity.
Tired of the same old cookie-cutter home designs? Dreaming of a space that truly reflects you? Then it's time to talk to the team at Trio Homes. Whether you're looking to build your dream home, redesign your current space, or simply renovate, Trio Homes is committed to unique designs, local personalised service, and quality workmanship. And with former Perth Glory star Dino Juljbic at the helm, you'll know you're getting passion and dedication built into every project. Discover the difference with Trio Homes. Visit triohomes.com.au.
Welcome back to the Far Post Perth. Big thanks, of course, to ID Athletic. Download the latest football catalogue, idathletic.com, and, of course, Trio Homes if you're looking to build, redesign, or renovate. Visit Dino Juljbic and triohomes.com.au. Boys, let's chat some kits. We've got Rob Childs with us, a.k.a. the Kit Dealer. Rob, mate, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me on, boys.
Yeah, no worries. Hey, I just want to ask you a very, very quick question to get us started. What makes a good kit?
Ooh, that comes down to a lot of things. I think maybe personal opinion being the most. But when you say what makes a good kit, do you mean like for me or do you mean for like in general?
Well, generally, because I mean, you get people coming to you all the time. Yeah. Is it just ultra subjective?
Well, that's the thing. It's actually a big part of the business side of things as well. When people go shopping for football shirts, normally they already, I reckon 90% of the time already obviously have their teams, so they're not going to shop something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think from a general consensus, a large part of people normally go for kits that are between like 95 to 2005. Mm-hmm. Is that that was like the peak period of football shirts for a lot of people. Yep. And especially neckline and fit. Slim stuff doesn't do so well with majority of people. People like the old boxy kind of free-flowing stuff. as well as like a lot of people don't like V-necks, which obviously weren't so popular between those years. I know you're wearing I think that's 98.
You did. We had a little discussion earlier. It's 97 to 99. It's an original. It's from when I was 12. It still fits. But yeah, I've got about, I was listening to you there with your years, and I have about a couple of hundred maybe kits from that era. So I might start selling them in my bedroom. I can like kill the boxy fits, the Umbros, the Lecoq Sportifs, the Kappas. I've got a shitload of them. Yeah. So I might get.
Where do you keep them all? Are they all in?
They're all in. Some are vacuum packed.
Vacuum packed. Yeah.
Some are in crates, and some are hanging up. And I do a little bit of a rotation at times when I feel like I want to wear something.
Yeah. Back
from the old days. So I've got Man City, obviously, Shelburne, Ireland. I've got a fair few Australia, and then I used to print shirts. I know this is not a podcast about me, so sorry, but I used to print shirts for a shop in Ireland and used to do all the names on the back. So I used to get discounted ones. So I've got like Everton Tim Cahill one that I printed. The Leeds ones I've got Lucas Radaby and did all that. Used to just do it myself when I was bored, just print shirts and then use my staff discount to buy them. And I've got loads. And then I was a big Juventus fan, so I've got a lot of the Serie A stuff, some of the Kappa Totti ones. Whenever I went on holidays, Xavi Barcelona from about 2003-ish, full printing the whole lot. So yeah, I used to always go and spend big when I went, and I still do it now. Wherever I go, I pretty much buy a football shirt. Went to Italy last year, got Pisa, Fiorentina, wherever I went really. So yeah, I've got loads.
Rob, some brands, I guess, who in your opinion makes some good football shirts? I mean, who are the best, do you feel?
I think throughout history, obviously this is preferential. When it comes to quality, I think that Kappa, and like this is a lot of people that obviously follow the kit dealer know this already. I have an obsession with Umbro and Kappa because their quality was just consistently amazing in that period. If you go into the 80s, the late 80s, obviously that's when they transitioned more to polyester from cotton. And when that transition came, there was some really nice Kappa stuff made, especially from 92 onwards to about 2002. So Kappa actually used to be manufactured in Australia. A lot of people don't know that. And it confuses a lot of collectors in Australia.
So is it an Australian brand?
No, it's not. It's Italian, but Kappa Umbro and Kappa. I think it actually was Umbro. Umbro was manufactured in Australia, not Kappa, I'm sorry. And Umbro moved its manufacturing to China in 2002. So all their factories from around the world in England, I know they did some stuff in other parts of Europe, I think more Eastern Europe. But Australia actually had its own Umbro factory that they used to manufacture Umbro shirts. And obviously that came with different parts. Obviously the Glory were part of Umbro back in the day, and Kappa as well. But in my personal opinion, I think that Kappa and Umbro were the GOATs of the 90s. And I know both of them are having resurgence now with a lot of teams around Europe. Today, in my personal opinion, actually I can't say that because I have ties to both those brands, but yeah, I can't say that. But yeah, there's definitely a big change in quality, I think, from the 90s to now.
Yeah,
when it comes to football shirts.
So there's a lot of knockoffs and replicas going around these days, and I imagine that's probably one of the more difficult components of the business. I've always wanted to know, how did you learn to authenticate kits, and how thorough do you have to be when you get all your drops in?
So it's actually that's a very good question, and a lot of people ask me that because they come in the store and they'll be like, "Oh, how do you know this is authentic?" I started collecting shirts when I was maybe in like year 7 at school, so I was like 12. I'm 25 now, so obviously through those years of working, just my side hustles when I was in school, I would just buy football shirts, and through buying football shirts, it sounds crazy, but you begin to learn very quickly what's real and what is fake. Obviously, thousands of subreddits. People I knew, other collectors, and over time, when it got to like the point where I started the kit dealer when I was like 18, 19, I actually started it when I was like 20 properly, but I really had like a good pool of football shirts and was selling them on the lowdown. I would get them in reoccurringly and I'll be able to feel exactly, it's hard to explain. I'll put it like this basically, I'm rambling. Tags, stitching, materials, badge placement, etc. is super important. Like that Manchester City shirt that you're wearing right now, there's basically 3 main indicators that are like big giveaways. Number one is the Kappa logo that you have. Normally on the fakes, it's actually flat within it. That one has a huge bulge on like the hip of the two girls sitting down. Second biggest indicator, and is by far the highest giveaway, is on the ribbing on the back of your neck. There's a thing that says Kappa. And the font on the fakes a lot of the time is almost in like a stick writing. And the font is always incorrect on that. Also, inside of the ribbing, there's like a puff. They put like a foam from the inside of the seam, I think it is, and that puffs the Kappa out so it bulges. And plus general wear and tear, as well as the other side of your badge. They used to use a flat like material when they would stitch onto that polyester, where now they don't do that anymore on the fakes. They just kind of mass produce it as much as they can. Plus the inside wash tag as well. Yeah. Sorry, I'm yapping on.
No, you're right. Because I said earlier on that I was at Oasis and I saw a lot of fakes of this shirt that people had bought them off.
It's highly fake, that shirt
and
you're wearing.
The top here is what you can notice on the fakes. Whereas the original is basically this. And you can see.
Is it getting harder? I remember watching a video. It was to do with, I think it was the Fanatics clothes brand in the USA, and it wasn't specifically football shirts, but it was more American apparel. And they were going through and saying, look, this is becoming harder and harder to work this out. Is that the same with football shirts, or is there still some pretty obvious giveaways?
When it comes to 90s fakes, still to this day, I've never seen a good 90s fake.
Yeah, okay.
Like 90s to like 2005, no, actually even later. I reckon 90s to 2009, I've never seen a fake that's not been distinguishable.
Yeah, okay.
Like, it's super, super hard to replicate what they had back then, just because the kind of things that they used to do to structure that shirt and make that shirt, they don't use that technology anymore because it's obviously like way too expensive to do. And the way they used to do it, they cannot replicate it. It sounds crazy, I know, because in China, I've been there. It's crazy. They can rarely do anything. But like they can't replicate to the T the exact composition of the fabric, the exact like stitching, the exact embroidery, it's hard to explain. Like the composition of the shirt, it's basically impossible to do. And if it is possible, which I'm sure it would be hypothetically if someone sat there for hours on end, it would be way too costly to do it.
With the style and the fashion of it, do you feel like football clubs these days they're trying to put out so many options? You've got player fit, you've got stadium shirt, you've got different versions of it because they're trying to give something for everybody. But what they're really doing, because even the prices of them is making it too hard for people, where they can just go and, you know what, I prefer the boxy fit of the 90s. It's come back, it's cool again. And people are just saying, nah, I'm not giving a Premier League club $250 for a shirt when I can go and potentially source a classic from a player I watched when I was a kid for maybe even a bit less than that. Is that, do you notice that people are moving away from modern shirts, or is it a hand in hand? People just have too much money and they're happy to buy both.
I think that's a very good question. I think that the accessibility of vintage football shirts before wasn't as accessible as they are now. Obviously, CFS monopolized that market hugely. Yep. And now it has become accessible. People are spending the money. It's kind of, I've always said to people, it's kind of like the sneaker market. You can buy, but just really niche compared to that. Because obviously sneakers were mass produced. Yes, football shirts were, but a lot of people kind of got rid of them or threw them away. So like, yeah, the sneaker market has its real sneakers. You have your grails, for example, like that shirt you're wearing now is pretty rare, I'm not going to lie, because there is so many fakes. So like, I feel like a lot of people are spending more money on vintage shirts just because it's from an investment standpoint, that they know that they're going to spend their money, they can wear it. It's probably going to hold together because, though, like I said, the composition of those shirts back in that period was so good. Like, I get some shirts that are from like 1990, 1989, where they were going through that polyester transition, and man, they look like brand new. It's insane. And you think like that shirt is like 10 years older than me, which is 11 years older than me, which is crazy. But when it comes to the new stuff, I think that football obviously as a whole is just such a big business, and we had that whole, kind of thing of like, I think football is growing hugely in the US now from a marketing standpoint. They're putting a lot more money into it. Even Australia, I think universally it's just exploded in the last 10 years from a marketing and brand standpoint more than anything. So I think that you look at a club like Napoli, who are with Armani, and they produce like 25 different kits a season. Like I think it was like 2 seasons ago, they had like a Halloween kit, 3 Maradona kits, like 5 different away kits, a 3rd shirt, like a 4th special shirt. That goalkeeper had another shirt, and like people were buying it. And like I understand that some people can't afford the new shirt or the real shirt, but like it's almost like sneakers. Like I said before, it's like if you want to invest your money in the things that you know are going to hold value, you know what I mean? Then that's completely fine. You can do that. You care about that shirt. It's like a collection, right? But if you're just going to wear a shirt to just thrash it and like you don't care, then like I don't blame anyone, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people hate on people from either ways, but it's kind of like I feel like exclusivity sells, and when something's exclusive, obviously it's going to be more expensive, supply and demand, right? It's simple. So I think the majority of people are always going to go to vintage when they want the grail. It's kind of like FIFA points. I compared this the other day. Like when you're a kid, you always wanted to buy FIFA points, but your mum would never let you. And then when you get older and you're an adult, you now have money, so you just spam FIFA points and you just build a Thunder squad.
Well, with that, people that, so if somebody comes into you and, you know, they're 25, 30 now and they liked a kit when they were 10, can you source that for them? Is there a big underworld network around Europe that you're getting them in from Russia and the Ukraine and in a truck at the dark of night? I mean, how does the process work if somebody was to go in, and is it possible to even source a shirt?
Yeah, I mean, nothing's impossible. I've found some pretty crazy stuff.
Good, because I've got 2 for you.
I found some pretty crazy stuff for players and stuff as well. But I've had some crazy requests. Some stuff obviously is just like near impossible. But like pretty much, I reckon 3/4 of the stuff that you'd ask me post maybe 85, I'd be able to get. If we're not talking like the Lithuanian 4th division, and you're asking me from a shirt that was like 20 years ago. Yeah. But a lot of people do come to me for requests. We have a section on our website where you can request as well. And I go through that and find stuff for people. It just depends whether the price can vary. Do you know what I mean? Especially for the rarest stuff.
And are there popular ones that you get regular requests for? Is there any? What are we talking? Are we talking like R9 98 Brazil shirts? Or we go and what do the cool kids want?
Well, that's another very good question. My staff would actually love to be here for that one. It depends. In store, it's always like, I don't know if you saw the skit that we did with Jerome from Jerome.
Yeah. Suited and booted.
Suited and booted. I don't know if you want to say.
Never heard of that podcast.
Yeah, that's my boy. But he also, like when we did the skit, he was like, oh, where's the Messis? Where's the Ronaldos? The Mbappes? Because that's literally what happens all the time, bro. And mad respect, obviously that's once again the brand. But like crazy, I get requested so much. And I'm excluding Glory stuff because that's just obvious. Like everyone's always requesting Glory stuff. That's... What team is it? The one with the Guinness sponsor. I think it's
Bohemians. That's Neil's favourite side.
Bohemians, that's it.
No, I fucking hate them. Well, that's my team's biggest rival. And I bought Blayne the Bohemian shirt when I went to
with the Guinness.
Dublin.
Brilliant. The original of that shirt, I'm not even lying, I get it requested maybe like 4 to 5 times.
How much is it worth?
Actually, no, it might be the Cork City one.
I think it's Cork City.
Is it the one that's based off the Germany early 90s?
Yeah, it's
that's
91.
Cork. It's not Bose. Yeah, it's white.
I was gonna
with
chuck it with
red and green.
Yeah.
That's the
Is that Cork City?
That's Cork City.
I was gonna say I thought it was
Bose have now jumped on the Guinness bandwagon.
Well, I was actually gonna ask you, like with Bohemians, obviously they got the sponsor through
Fontaines.
DC Fontaines. They got Oasis, and then they got Kneecap. Has that started to enter the frame with those kind of culture crossovers as well?
Well, yeah, I think that music is. It's actually surprising you say that because music has actually always crossed over with kids.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of teams that people have just never seen it before. Like, I forget the team in the UK. I think it was AFC Wimbledon. They did a collaboration. It's a football shirt, and it's by a local band from there, I'm pretty sure.
That was Kasabian and Leicester, wasn't it?
Well, Kasabian do support Leicester. Serge is a Leicester fan. But I don't know if that's.
I thought there was a bit of a.
There's been loads of them. Fatboy Slim have done Brighton.
I was going to say that was going to be next. 2001.
There's quite a few. I mean, Oasis. That's got we're wearing in City jerseys and all their promos in the 90s. There's a massive crossover between them. So
I think Kaiser Chiefs might have done it with Leeds as well.
It's going to show my age. I remember the Spice Girls used had it win football kits. Jerry was a Watford fan and Mel C was Liverpool. And
actually I do remember that.
Yeah, definitely. That was the glory days. Anyway, that's enough of that.
Yeah, back to what you were saying. Back to that. to finish your question. Yes, I think, like I said, it goes back to what I said. Like, it's more marketable now. Obviously, people see it more often, and those are good examples of like how well they've done. I've seen that shirt everywhere.
The
Fontaines one. I'm a huge fan of Fontaines. Huge fan.
And so is Greta Thunberg.
Yeah, that is true too.
But there's a lot. Sam Fender's a big one with Newcastle as well. He's like kind of taken the Newcastle brown ale shirts and put his own spin on them as well to sell his own Sam Fender Newcastle style shirt. So the crossover where he's even working the opposite way, where the artists are borrowing from football now.
I saw so many when he was in Perth in December, and there were so many Newcastle shirts, and there was Shearer ones, there was Les Ferdinand, David Ginola. Like it was brilliant to just see.
Well, they're up there with the best kits. That '96 Newcastle Adidas era was. And they brought out
the Newcastle brown ale.
They brought out a remake of all the training gear in the last few months, and it's sold out instantly. And it's class stuff.
I'm not surprised. Glory is one of the most requested, especially stuff from the '90s is highly popular. Without wanting to put you on the spot too much, have you got a favourite Glory kit or a couple of favourites? And are they all from the Kappa era in the NSL days?
Well, I'm actually busy planning on filming a series. I've actually filmed the first two things that I want to collect every single Glory kit ever used.
Good luck getting that Black Powerade one, mate.
Yeah.
That is, honest to God.
There's a kids one on Marketplace.
Is there?
A youth large or something, because I've
I've been trying to look for an adults one for years.
Which black one?
The 96 Powerade.
I have it.
Yeah. Have you got it? Yeah.
I've got two.
The black and white one?
Yeah, the black and white ones. Yeah.
I have one with a printing error as well.
Is that right?
The Ericsson's upside down.
Wow. That's cool.
It's nuts. I spent... I think I bought one. The only one I could find was on eBay from Ukraine, the home shirt from the inaugural season. But there's two versions. One has kangaroos, like in the material, like it's when you shimmer it in the light, you can see the kangaroos. But they use the same shirt for 2 seasons, I'm pretty sure. So that would what I'd say is my grail. But at the same time, like Glory's like design palette is so nice. Like there could be so much crazy stuff to do with it.
Yeah.
And I have mentioned it to the club before that it would be cool to do something like that.
DM for collab and all that.
Pardon?
DM for collab.
Well, not even just that. Yeah, something like that. I'm pretty close with a couple of the boys at the club. And I'm not sure what I can say about this, but anyway.
But it would be pretty cool though. Like there's a massive crossover culturally between, what people want these days, the club, all that. It would make sense, to do stuff like that and try and engage people through different mediums. And if it is kits, and I've always my favorite Glory kit is the one they did for the anniversary, the 15-year anniversary, where it was the throwback and it had the orange collar on it and it had the sun at the bottom of it down at the hip. Love that shirt. Absolutely amazing kit. And that was one that they did as a once-off. Throwback kits are in vogue.
I was gonna ask you. You said that you got that from the Ukraine, because I actually sourced one. What was it? I think it was 98 away kit, just short sleeve, which came from like Wisconsin, USA. I'm just like, how the hell does some of these places get hold of these kits? I mean, are these just collectors, or what the story is? You must have got some kits from some pretty far-flung places.
You're not going to believe me, but there's two crazy ones that have killed me. I found a Perth soccer club.
Yeah.
I think it was 1998 away shirt in Bulgaria.
Jesus.
And I found a what was Lucas Neal's childhood club? Something Dolphins.
Sutherland?
It doesn't exist anymore, but I found a jacket from when he was at this team in Italy. And it was like some random youth team, Manly something Dolphins. And I found it in Italy, and I was like, what is this doing? Bro, I found crazy stuff in Europe. Like, you would never believe, like, the A-League stuff. And it's just like, I think there's a lot of people that come here. I see it in my store anyway. A lot of people come on working holiday visas, or they come as tourists. And the first thing they want to do when they're going to leave, kind of like you said, when you go somewhere, is they want to get a shirt from the local team. But at the same time, I don't know how a Manly Dolphins jacket ends up in Sicily. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes no sense to me.
Very quickly, favourite Socceroos kit? Because there's one I'd love to get my hands on.
That's a very tough question.
Is it just the typical Spew kit? Because the originals of them are pretty hard to get hold of, aren't they?
I've got the replica of that.
Yeah, I think there's shitloads of replicas, but I think getting an original.
You're talking the Spew, like the
93, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I think 94 is probably my favorite. Yeah, that's the one that has the three.
I have that.
The stripes that go.
That was my first. I bought that here in '96. I have it at home.
Is it 96?
It was a 94 kit, but I got it in 96.
Do you know what one of my favourites, and I'd love to get my hands on it, and that was the Adidas gold on green when we beat England at Upton Park.
Yeah.
Really tough to get.
Was it not green? There was not a green shirt on. They wore it in that game.
What's that?
They wore a green shirt in that game.
Was it a green one or was it gold?
No,
I can't remember.
Pretty sure it was green with yellow sleeves.
And then there's the other one with the... Yeah, it had the stripes down it, the Adidas stripes down it. That's the one, isn't it?
I have two of them coming.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
90... I have 98, 2000.
98 would be a good one, obviously. Is that the same as the 97?
Similar, mate. You're going off my Australian brain knowledge on football shirts now. It's like a Wikipedia. It's pretty similar. I mean, they're all pretty similar.
It was more of a real bright yellow rather than a gold.
It's actually more of a gold.
Is it?
Yeah, because it was more matted back then, if you know what I mean. Early 2000s, it became a bright yellow.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But those shirts are like once again, they're just so well put together. We have a coat of arms one in store at the moment.
Yeah, right.
Which is from 1999, which I was informed by someone that the coat of arms back then was only allowed to be worn by the players.
Well, the way that I understood it was the original had the state flags and the other ones just had the kangaroo and emu.
That's right, because the one I've got has got the kangaroo and emu on it from the 94.
Yeah, and then they changed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way that I understand it.
Because the one we have in store has, I think it's 99, it has the crest, but there's another version that doesn't.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are geeking out over it, but one of those.
You've done a few collaborations recently, and you've got a few nice shirts in the store that have been signed by a few different players.
Yeah.
Is there one player, ex or current, that you'd really want to collab with and have their shirt on the wall? Because I know you've got Simic and
Simic.
You got Simic, sorry.
My goat.
You've got Taggart as well.
Mm.
Yeah, you got Rafa Leao when AC Milan came.
Yeah.
You had Benzema too, I believe.
Yeah, I just went to... Man, that is a long story. I don't know if you want the long story or you don't.
The quick one.
All right, so basically, when Milan came to Perth, initially, I wasn't supposed to be in the store. It was closed on a Tuesday, and Simic and Luka Jović walked past my store. The lights were off, and they knocked on the door. They came in. I know, crazy, right? And I became good friends with Simic more. But
did you know who they were since they knocked?
Well, this is the funny story, and I would actually speak to Simic about this all the time. Because I knew who Luka Jović was, but Simic was just in the academy. He just started playing first-team football for Milan. Scored on his debut, I'm pretty sure, as well. Assist by Rafa Leao. And it was like a week before Milan was supposed to come to Perth. So I was just in the store. It was closed. I was packing orders. This was like 2 years ago. And they knocked on the door, and I was like, who the hell is this? But I was like, I'll let people in anyway. And they walk in, and I looked at the guy. I was like, shit, this guy looks familiar. So I looked at him. I was like, bro, no one actually knows the story, which is actually a few people do. And I looked at him. I was like, And I can always tell if people play football from their calf muscles. And no, that sounds crazy, but I can always tell straight away, like from their stature and stuff, 99% of the time. I looked at them and I was like, "You right, guys, where are you from?" And they were like, "Oh, I didn't say it like that. That sounds a bit forward." Along those lines.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, like, we're from Serbia." And I was like, "Oh, true." I was like, "You guys, what are you doing here?" He was like, "Oh, we're here for football." So I was like, "Oh, true." I was like, "You playing like MPL?" I'm not even lying. I actually fucking said that. And they both looked at me like, "What's MPL?" And I was like, "So what football are you here for?" He's like, "We play for AC Milan." And then as he said that, bro, I was like, I am so stupid. And I was like, oh my God. I literally looked at it. I was like, oh my God, you're Luka Jović, right? And he was like, yeah, bro. He was like, you own a football store and you didn't recognize. No, he didn't actually say that, but in my head I said. But Simic was there, and we played. They stayed in there for like 3 hours, bro.
Yeah.
They had nothing else to do. I was just chopping it up with them. It was like surreal for me. I was asking all sorts of questions, and like Luka Jović was like, "Oh, bro, like pick out any shirt in the store, and I'll tell you what team it is." And I was like, "There's no way." So I was walking around the store like picking up like Accrington Stanley shirts, and they were like, he was like Accrington Stanley, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Jesus. Bro, his ball knowledge is crazy. But obviously, I chopped it up with Simic a lot. We became good friends, and then the Euros came around. And I went over there and watched some games. Simic got me some tickets. And then we just became friends on and on from that, talking a lot. He went to Anderlecht. He transferred from Milan to Anderlecht. Yeah. And then I went to Europe again to go watch football again and watched him play in a normal league match against Charleroi. And then I watched him play in the Europa League. And then he sorted me tickets to the Milan game. I went to go watch the Milan Derby, and then I went and met his friend Samardzic, who plays for Atalanta. That was also a crazy night. Then I came back to Australia, obviously helped out a bunch of other football. I owe that guy everything when it comes to like networking in Europe. Came back to Australia, and he went to Al Ittihad from Anderlecht. Yep. And he said to me, like, yo, bro, obviously we talk all the time. It's like, he's like my pen pal. You know what I mean? He's actually the nicest guy, bro. That's cool, man. That's cool. And he said, yeah, come to Saudi Arabia. So I went over there and like stayed with him. And it's just surreal experiencing what like a footballer goes through in like their day-to-day life. It's mental. Yeah, they live in like actually, you probably shouldn't say that. A really nice place. Yeah. No, cool. Hey, Rob, mate, we've got to. We're running out of time very, very quickly. Mm-hmm. Mate, how do people get in touch with you? And I guess if they've got some stuff sitting at home, they're not too sure if it's real, if it's fake, what it's worth, mate. How can they reach out? Well, if you would like to sell your shirts to me, you can reach out on www.thekitdealer.com. Instagram is where we post a lot of the things that are upcoming. The Instagram is @thekitdealer. And yeah, all our contact details are on those locations. Thank you very much for having me. Awesome, mate. Thanks for dropping by. Cheers. Thank you very much, brother.
What a run! This could be the one! It's in! That's what it's all about! And when it comes to sports gear that helps you perform your best, ID Athletic has the winning formula. From grassroots clubs to elite athletes, ID Athletic provides high-quality sporting apparel, screen printing, embroidery, and made-to-order promotional products. Proud sponsors of the Far Post Perth and passionate supporters of WA community sport. Visit ID Athletic at 84 Howe Street, Osborne Park, or online at idathletic.com. ID Athletic. Build your identity.
Tired of the same old cookie-cutter home designs? Dreaming of a space that truly reflects you? Then it's time to talk to the team at Trio Homes. Whether you're looking to build your dream home, redesign your current space, or simply renovate, Trio Homes is committed to unique designs, local personalised service, and quality workmanship. And with former Perth Glory star Dino Julbich at the helm, you'll know you're getting passion and dedication built into every project. Discover the difference with Trio Homes. Visit triohomes.com.au.
Big thanks to Rob from the Kit Dealer. Yeah, some good stories there, Neil. I mean, he'd have some good stuff there that I reckon that you could browse around with, mate. So you were saying you're there today, weren't you?
Yeah, walk past today. I could sell a load of kits now. I've got some ideas to free up some space in my storage unit.
Yep, no, very good. Great to have a bit of a chat, and obviously something a little bit different where we didn't have to mull all over the Paul Perth results. So, no, very good. A-League Women, Jaxon, good win over the Jets, 2 on the bounce as they head into the international break.
Yeah, very good win. Just the second away win of the season. Yep. First time they've won after conceding the opening goal of the game, and they had to come from behind twice. Showed a lot of character. Once they conceded the second at about the hour mark, they really controlled the game from there on in. Got the response pretty quickly from Clancy Westaway, her first A-League W goal.
Yep.
And then Tijan McKenna, who's had a really good season, managed to get on the score sheet late on. So, yeah, massive win for them. They're now into the top 6 going into the Asian Cup break and 4 games to go. And they're playing 4 teams that are around where they are on the ladder who are also fighting for those last couple of spots in the final. So, yeah, a bit of momentum going into the last 4, and I guess we'll see what they're really about because, this is the perfect time and the perfect test for them to see if they're ready to make their next step and be a finals team.
Well, the 3 teams below them are all pretty evenly poised on 22 points, aren't they? A point below. And Glory have a quite negative goal difference that might come back to bite them.
Yeah, but they play Brisbane, they play Victory, and I think they play Central Coast, and they play Central Coast as well in Adelaide. So, yeah, the Raw and Victory are 2 of those teams that are below them at the moment. I think Adelaide are above them, but I think they will be fine. I think the top 4 in the W they'll play finals, no doubt. It's just those last 2 spots that are going to be really hotly contested.
Yep, no, very much looking forward to that. Asian Cup to kick off this coming Sunday. Jaxon, Matilda to take on Philippines, and still plenty of free tickets getting around, boys. So, anyone out there that wants to get along to that, do yourself a favour, I guess.
It's an international tournament on our doorstep, so I mean, it'd be good if people did get out and support it. Look, if we're honest, it's a bit worrying when people are giving away freebies.
Is it what?
So close to an opening ceremony and everything else that comes with it, but an opportunity for people who maybe are casual observers to go and watch them play. They've got a strong squad. They've got a few big names back.
Good to see Sam and Mary Fowler back in.
And they should be winning the tournament, right? So that's where
final. I think the benchmark has to be a final.
Yep.
You're probably looking against someone like Korea or Japan.
Yeah, if we're going to put our nail colours to the mast and all of that, and what expectations are, it's got to be a final.
And it feels like it'll be the end of a little bit of an era. For a few of those players as well. So, really interesting to see how that all plays out and, get along to that. Big congrats to Sterling taking out the NPL Night Series 1-0 win over Olympic Kingsway. That does mean that we set up a pretty big round 1 in the NPLWA men's this weekend. Friday night, Perth Glory against Olympic Kingsway. Also Friday night, Bayswater City against Balcatta. On Sunday, Fremantle City against Sterling, Sorrento v Perth Glory, and Perth Red Star against Dianella White Eagles. If you're down in the south, Armidale will host Western Knights. We were saying a bit of a shame that there's not just a standalone opener on Friday night, but is what it is. That it'd be good to get everyone interested all in one venue and really pack it out. See if you can get a couple of thousand in there.
There's a bit of momentum with the night series.
Yep.
Attendances seem to be okay. It's been a fair
good crowd down at Sterling. By all
fair bit of money spent on relatively big name players as well. So hopefully it translates into a strong season. Yep,
looking forward to that kicking off this weekend, and also the NPL Women's Night Series continues. I'm not too sure of the exact fixtures. All I do know is that Perth Glory will take on Balcatta. Whoever wins that one will top the group and go through to the final. So a little bit to play for in that respect as well. A-League this weekend, boys. Get your tips. We'll go around the table. Friday night, Melbourne Victory v Adelaide, the original rivalry.
Victory at home will continue the momentum and win 2-1.
Yeah, I'll go victory as well, although I probably shouldn't underestimate Adelaide because I had them pinned for the spoon and they're doing really well this season.
Yeah.
Those youngsters that are coming through
They feel like a dark horse. Not to win it, but they feel like they're definitely going under the radar and they can take points off.
They're going to be competitive, that's for sure.
Yep. I'm going to be a bit boring and pick a draw in that one. Auckland, Melbourne City at Auckland, Saturday, first game.
Yeah, Auckland will continue. And as I said, Melbourne City are a disappointment, so they will continue to be.
Rabble.
Yep, 2-0 Auckland.
Yeah, Auckland for me as well. Central Coast Newcastle, I'm really looking forward to this one. And the only thing that annoys me about this is that it's not the feature fixture. I feel like it should be.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be game of the round, even though I think Newcastle would be the overwhelming favourites. But I think last time they played, the Mariners won, if I'm not mistaken. They had the last-minute penalty save.
Correct.
Early in the season.
Yeah.
So, it should be an absolute belter, but I still think Newcastle will continue there.
The Troy Dundee moment.
Yes, it was. It was the Dundee moment.
Yep.
They'll make it, was it 9 in a row if they win?
Yep.
Oh, it's crazy.
It will be, yeah.
It's crazy.
They're on track to, I think the record in the league is 11 or 12 straight wins. So, history in the making potentially for the Jets.
They'll win. Yeah, they'll win.
All right.
They're good.
Also on Saturday, Brisbane v Perth.
My question for you,
yes.
You're really looking forward to the Mariners and Jets game. If it's a good contest in the second half, will you switch over to watch Glory?
I'll probably do dual screen it.
Does it cross? Get off that fence.
Do they cross over?
Yeah. One's at 2 o'clock, one's at 3 o'clock.
I was actually looking. I was just seeing there's 4 games on Saturday.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you just marry all them up back to back to back to back to back? It would be outstanding.
So let's get off the fence. Will you switch over? If it's 2-2 at half time in the F3 Derby, you're going to turn on.
No,
Glory?
I'll probably still switch over.
Oh, okay.
I'll probably still switch over for at least a look.
Just check the scores on FootMob, and if it's going badly, then just stick to the
F3. We'll go back. That's right.
We didn't really talk about Glory last week, but it was a dreadful performance. One of the worst, probably the worst of the Griffiths era. No shots on target, carved open time and time again on the counter attack.
Yeah,
really no signs of life whatsoever, and I have no reason to think that they'll bounce back in the second of 4 away games. So I think they will. They will struggle again to create chances. It's a massive, massive problem. Creating chances that and looking like scoring. And when they go behind, they just look like falling further behind. They had that solid defence for a while, but if that goes out the window, they're kind of screwed. And we've spoken about Reece Bozanovsky being a massive hole in the team. Steph Kolikovsky still can't get a start. How many weeks is it that he's going to come off the bench before he's deemed ready? Yep. Surely it's this week. If Trent Ostler was dragged after 30 minutes last week, surely Kolikovsky comes into the team this time round. And is Tom Lawrence any closer to coming back? I don't think he will. I don't think we might not see him for the rest of the season, especially on these long trips away. So I think Glory will lose in a close one.
Yeah, it was really odd because obviously I emceed the Azuri launch last week and Perth Glory were there, which was fantastic to see. But in walked Tom Lawrence and Brian Kaltak, so we knew that he certainly wasn't in that side to head out there. I think Brisbane. I can't see anything that tells me that Perth will get this done.
The only hopes are getting Lawrence or Wales back. And then the fact that Brisbane have also been pretty dire in the last couple of weeks. So I'll be optimistic and say we'll draw.
Okay.
Just on that, a draw does not really do any favours, though. Is finals gone now? I know that I was a beacon of optimism, which is strange for me, but they're 5 points away from finals now.
I think it's done. I think it was done after Newcastle.
There's a bit of a gap emerging now.
Yep.
It seemed like it was pretty close, but now there is. I think we're now seeing. There's a clear top 6, and then you've got the rest who are kind of falling behind at a rapid rate.
Yeah. MacArthur v Wanderers. MacArthur get this done easy, don't they? Wanderers are a rabble at the moment.
Yeah, MacArthur should win. So
I think that 3-2 loss for Wanderers at Central Coast last week just absolutely.
It's a killer. It's a killer.
That just
I think they should, but I think there's a chance of a draw in that game. Yeah, I think a dour draw.
And Wellington, do they get the new coach bounce?
Well,
who are they playing?
Sydney at home.
Nah, Sydney.
Yeah, I mean former Manchester City player Chris Greenacre back in the dark days.
Yeah.
He's been around the club for a long, long time, both as a player and in the coaching setup, so he'll know the ins and outs. He'll understand the club. I saw that the club put out something today where they said the players were going to be out and about handing out free tickets because, well, why not? Like, we can't get much worse for them. Giancarlo Italiano did a good job for a while, but
where does he end up, do you feel?
I think he'll take a break and potentially end up somewhere in and around maybe that Auckland team that's in that OFC.
You reckon?
Maybe. Well, is he going to come to Australia for a gig?
Glory next season.
Well, people are talking
because he's from Sydney originally.
Yeah,
so
I know, but he was
talking about going back to Sydney.
He just feels really ingrained in that Wellington setup and that New Zealand football now. But maybe he does go back and pick up a high MPL gig. Do you think because if he goes back to Sydney,
is he one that goes on to Asia? Because that's what I'm feeling.
Yeah,
is he a good enough coach for Asia?
I don't know. But
Wanderers, but surely got to aim higher for Wanderers.
Well, I don't mind that shout, actually. Being from Sydney, former assistant under Corica at Sydney FC, so he knows the lay of the land.
Maybe. He seems like a really good guy by all accounts. Always good in press conferences. Very nice to speak to. So he's someone that you'd like to keep around the leagues anyway. Not for the sympathy vote, but he has been a good coach.
Who wins, Wellington or Sydney?
A draw. I think there will be a slight bounce.
Okay.
Sydney will win. Although we didn't even touch on the absolute howler from Oloiemi. Peak A-League at its
just
best.
Another week in the A-League. Yeah, one of the great
it was good though,
goals.
Wasn't it? It was good.
I mean, what was he doing? What was he thinking?
Well, I mean, I think the wind has got it. That ball.
But even if the wind is a factor, like, why are you outside your penalty area?
Well, they all sit outside their penalty area.
Yeah, but surely you know the wind is carrying the ball and you take a step back and just use your hands. Like, if it was swirly conditions and the ball was high in the air, where was he heading it to if he did get his head on it? There was no one around.
I just think it all happened that quick. As I said, they all hang around between that kind of yard and halfway.
They do, but he had plenty of time to backpedal and no pressure on him whatsoever.
Well, I just think he thought, okay, I'll just head it this way. I'm outside the box.
There was no one
It was a good glancing.
I just think he was going to send it back to where it came.
Dreadful. I mean, I could understand if there was a striker bearing down on him and he panicked, but there wasn't anybody within touching distance. So it was an all-time disaster and he deserved to be dragged.
I think Sydney FC win that one, boys. Any final thoughts?
I mean, the rumour this week, and maybe it's agent-generated around Rob Stanton coming to Perth and bringing players with him. Do we take that with any stock whatsoever?
No, not at all. I don't think so at all.
No.
I think I think someone's stirring the pie there.
I mean, we're the wheels are off in terms of the honeymoon period. Do we trust that Griffiths is going to get some results between now and the end of the season? And what is the benchmark for him being? These are conversations we'll have to have in the next week or so, probably on this very podcast. But what is the benchmark for him to get a contract extension? Because he's only contracted till the end of the season. Like, what does he need to do between now and the end of the year to get another gig at Glory? Or there was a rumor of him being linked back to Wellington, that they want him to replace Giancarlo Italiano. Does he go away there and then
swapsies? And
it doesn't cost Glory don't have to pay off a manager, which would be nice. They will just part ways at the end of the season, and we go back to square one again with someone else's players, someone else's squad, and half a preseason wasted trying to appoint a manager and players.
Dire again, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that's what we're faced into, and I get people are saying that he's not getting the results now and everything, and it's true. Like, yeah, but do we really want to go into that cycle again, another off season of
no.
But you also can't just appoint someone because you don't want to go into that cycle again, right? If he's not the right man, he's not the right man. But who will be the right man? When? And then you have to point fingers at the football department and the owners.
Yeah,
because
I don't think
because this will be the third coach.
Yeah,
Stajic had half a season. They didn't want them.
Yeah,
they brought in their own man in Zrilic.
Yeah,
booted him. They went with the assistant, like Glory tend to do in Griffiths, and had a bit of a purple patch initially, but now it's gone to shit a bit. And they made that decision well, who have they potentially got lined up if Griffiths does either move on or they get rid of him? Have we got somebody that's ready to come in for the first week of pre-season, or do we spend the off season? What's Graham Arnold up to? And was Patrick Snorbo coming in? And we go through all these names again to land with somebody who's sitting on the doorstep. Like we the worldwide search shit again, right? Do you have the energy for it?
No, I don't. I'm tired. I'm tired.
There's the thought of it of going through. I mean, it does keep us busy in a lull. Don't get me wrong. It's good content when somebody's linked. But I just would like a quiet off-season where you have a coach who's training the players. There's not even a fucking Darwin Cup playoff anymore. They scrapped it. We can't even do that.
On that note, we'll wrap things up. Big thank you to you, Mr. Neil Sherwin. Big thank you to Jackson Bassett. Big thank you to Rob Giles, the kit dealer. And of course, big thank you to ID Athletic and Trio Homes. Don't forget to tell everyone about the Far Post Perth podcast. We'll be back this time next Tuesday. Enjoy your football.